Hey guys, my name is Mike Smith from Elite Lawn Care. I wanted to reach out and explain a couple things related to the grass growth that's occurring right now. And we know that it's raining, it's springtime, it happens every year, the grass grows like crazy. But it's growing exceptionally fast this year, more so than any other year that I've seen. And here's the number one reason why. Grass and the soil feeds the grass, and that grass, while it's in dormancy during the winter, it's just absorbing that energy. It's keeping that energy, and then when things warm up, when the springtime comes along, then boom, it starts growing really rapidly. Well, because we normally start mowing the middle of April, and that didn't happen this year because of the cold temperatures, that energy still was stored. And so normally we would have mowed a couple weeks in April, and you would have this much energy over this much amount of weeks. Now what we are seeing is we still have that much energy, but it's compressed into this much of a timeline because the season started late. So the grass is still going to grow at the rate that it was if it was back in April. What's this mean? This means that instead of growing a quarter of an inch per day or less, it's growing at 3/8 of an inch per day. Some cases a half inch per day. So it's growing at an extremely fast rate. This is a big problem for us. It's a big problem for all landscapers. The pricing that we're giving you is based on being able to mow your lawn in a super efficient manner, and we can't do that with the way that the grass is growing right now. And I want to put this in perspective so that you can help to understand it. To use an analogy, in the carpentry construction world, there's two types of carpenters. There's a rough carpenter and a framing carpenter, also called rough carpentry. And there is a finish carpenter, a guy that goes and does your trim work, he does your cabinets, he does your doors, and does a really nice job, but he's a little slower and he uses a whole different set of tools than the rough carpenter. As an example, this is your rough carpentry saw blade for a sawzall. It's got very sharp teeth, but they're very coarse. They're made to cut through wood extremely fast, but with little accuracy, and they leave splinters behind. This is something that maybe you might see more of a finish carpenter use. It's got very fine teeth, and so it does a much finer job, but it's significantly slower. But it does a much, much better job of cutting. It's a much cleaner cut. Our mowers, and any commercial mower on the market, is this. It's set up to cut very precisely, very finely, at a decent rate. When the grass goes over 6 inches, this type of saw blade, our mowers start to become ineffective. We have to do things like slow down significantly, bag the grass, double mow the grass, rake up clippings, all kinds of different techniques that we'll use. But ultimately, in the end, it's additional work. And what you as a person may not realize is the work doesn't just start and stop at your property. Usually after we mow an overgrown lawn, we have to change lawnmower blades because we can't risk producing a terrible job for the rest of the day for the customers that are after you. So because we mowed your lawn and it was extra tall, there's a pretty good odds that we told our crew, come back to the office, change your lawnmower blades, and then head back out again. We have to pay them for that whole time and that whole process, and it's not cheap. So when we say, hey, there's additional charges, those charges cover the extra time that it takes to do your lawn properly, as well as things like changing out lawnmower blades. Last week we had 2 overgrown lawns, and the guys snapped belts and 1 pulley on a machine. So we had to replace the pulleys and replace the belts, and that's all built into that cost, and that's why there's additional charges when the lawn grows over 6 inches. So I hope that helps. The other option is to go into what we call field mowing, and that's where you would use, if you think of a tractor on the side of a roadway, it knocks down the tall grass, but it doesn't do a very good job. It misses spots and this and that, but the highway department's clearly not worried about those type of things. So when you get over 6 inches, you're really into the field mowing category at that point. You're not in the lawn mowing category. That's why we have to charge additional to maintain a high quality standard for our entire customer base and to maintain the equipment the way that we need to. So if you have any questions, give us a call. But that's why we're experiencing such rapid grass growth, is because of the late spring start and most recently all the rainy weather that we've had. Thanks a lot.